At the outset, let me tell you that it's a great feeling to be back to Indian soil. And it was a 14 days tour. We went to 5 countries, as you know. We started from Japan. We went to the Republic of Korea, then we went to Indonesia, then Singapore, and then to Malaysia. And I must say that it was a highly satisfying and successful visit. We met different segments of population in all the countries. We met the political setup. We met the housewives, we met the youth, we met the community associations, we met the Indian diaspora, and we met the think tanks and academia. And all of them, I'm delighted to say this, heard us at length. And all of us from the multi-party delegation were very emphatic when we said that India had adopted the new normal policy now. We have zero tolerance to terrorism now, and Pakistan has not just been nurturing but also nourishing and promoting terrorism, and it has been disrupting the peace of the country. And having said that, we did try to kind of, bring a link between development and peace. We are completely focused on development. We want to be a developed nation by 2047, and we did give them data and statistics which says that India is actually making giant strides from the path of progress. We are the 4th largest economy in the world, and we would be the 3rd largest economy, surpassing Germany in next 2.5 to 3 years. And we also did tell them that India has a strong 1.4 billion population, and the best part is that the majority of the population is young, the median age being just 29 years. And we have a foreign exchange reserves of about $690 billion, and the retail inflation is coming down with every passing moment. It stands at 3.16%. And India is completely focused on development. We are progressing by leaps and bounds. And at this hour, we do not want any kind of disruption of peace. And when there is peace, there is development. Peace is an essential requisite for development. This particular fact was emphatically put before everybody, and I'm very glad to tell you that everybody appreciated this point of view. And terrorism does not distinguish. Terrorism will make a victim of them and me. Today we are the victim, tomorrow they can be the victim. So I think this particular thing was told to them very emphatically. And we also read out to them the UNSC press release that was done on April 25th. The United Nations Security Council press statement says it all. We read out to them. It says the perpetrators, the organizers, the financiers and the sponsors of terrorism must be held accountable and brought to justice. This was told very emphatically, and they all appreciated that. And I must tell you that we did say that since they were the members of the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Countries, and the Financial Action Task Force, we made a request to them that the concerns of India as regards Pakistan's role in instigating terrorist activities within the country must be put forth on the table when the meetings are held, because we are not members of those. So I think that was also appreciated by one and all. And I must say with a lot of pride that all these countries have a lot of respect and regard for Indian government and the Indians. And we did tell them that we had to progress together, and peace for development is not just a national priority, it is a global need. So this was also appreciated by one and all, and we had a very satisfying interaction. The countries, most of them offered unconditional support to India. I want to say it with all conviction at my command that they were with India, they stood with India, and they did say that the scourge of terrorism must go from the face of the earth, and many of them actually understood the role of Pakistan in these activities. So I think this was a very satisfying visit.
When you are saying satisfying interaction, so will this country help India in declaring Pakistan as a terrorist country, and what is their attitude towards the terrorism?
No, see, I can only say that they have their own set of issues. Every country has its own set of issues, and we have to respect the fact that every country is autonomous by nature, if I can use that word. So I think The very fact that they stood by India and they appreciated our stance on cross-border terrorism is good enough. Let's see what happens next. But I think it was a very positive environment we discussed matters in.
Also, the opposition also included in this delegation, and they were called BJP and Modi, anti-Modi, but they are,
How ridiculous this is. I think we really need to denounce the statements of all these opposition parties here in India. See, we must realize that 59 persons in 7 delegations had gone to 33 countries. And we were multi-party delegation. And while saying this, I must say that all the 5 countries appreciated and acknowledged and admired the fact that Prime Minister Modi government had not sent a BJP or NDA team. He had sent a multi-party delegation. So that was appreciated by one and all, which actually was very heartening to us. Now, these people must realize that out of these 59 persons in 7 delegations, 51 were members of parliament belonging to different political parties. In my delegation, there were 5 political parties. I am from the Bharatiya Janata Party. The leader of the delegation was from the JDU. Now, there was a member from the TMC, there was a member from the CPIM, and there was a member from the Congress. So when we all spoke the same language on the foreign soil, I think why should these people indulge in dirty politics back home? I think their people, their members have spoken the language of Bharat there with all of us. I think the members of the delegations must be appreciated, those who belong to different political parties. They talk of India, they talk to Bharat, and these people back home should not indulge in dirty politics.
Yesterday also Rahul Gandhi called PM Modi, like PM Modi surrender, kind of this kind of statement.
See, it's a question of his relevance. We need not attach importance to that. There would be dissenting voices, but first, Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, all my regards for him, should speak to the members who represented their political party on the foreign soil. They were all with us and we talked of Bharat. So I think there should not so much division. There should not be so much division within the political party.
Also, more than 15 political parties also signed a petition, and they are calling like a special session. They want to talk about the Uri, Rajouri, Pahalgam in a full discussion. How do you see this?
See, I can only say that convening the special session of Parliament is the prerogative of my leaders. They will take the appropriate decision, and I can only say that all these issues have already been discussed while all the members of different political parties were there on foreign land. So our leaders will take decision in this regard. I am not the appropriate person.